Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Plough Lane Podcast. We've been joined by Scott again this week. There's lots to talk about. We had our first home league game of the season, beating Lincoln 2-0 at Plough Lane. We had a game on Tuesday night against Gillingham. That's yesterday as we're filming today. So beating them on penalties, going through to the second round of the CARABAO Cup. As we're also filming this, we've got the CARABAO Cup draw on our TVs around us, so we will react to that when we get to it. It'll be interesting to see who we get. There's teams coming in from the Premier League who aren't in Europe, so Fulham, Scott said to me when we were off camera, so that will be a pretty good away day. And yes, it's going to be interesting to see who we come up against. But first of all, we'll talk about the first of the two matches, and we'll talk about Reading as well. Lincoln at home, let's get straight into it. I'm going to talk about the lineup first because it was one change in the lineup to the 1-0 loss against Luton. It was Marcus Brown in. To be fair, I kind of like that. A lot of fans weren't really positive about it, but I think he adds a little bit of creativity, a little bit of flair going forward, and I thought he did pretty well. Do you think that was the correct decision, especially dropping Kelly? Because I thought he played well against Luton, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Marcus Brown adds that little bit of class, doesn't he? And a bit of he knows how to hold onto the ball and draw fouls, where Kelly's a little bit more naive and stuff. It's definitely the correct decision because we've got to win at the end of the day, and that points mean everything this stage in the season to get him on the board early doors, first home game of the season as well. Make Fortress Plough Lane all over again.
Exactly. That's what we love to see. Let's talk about the game itself. The first half was decent. I think before the red card, it's tough to see who was the better team, but I think we had maybe the better of the chances. I think we were the better team on the day, even 11v11, but it would have been tough to see kind of what would have happened if it was 11v11. But I think we dominated even before the red card. I thought we were attacking well, defending well as well. Before the red card in the opening stages, were we the better team? Do you think we deserved to kind of, if it was 11v11, do you think we would have won that game? Because it's hard to judge if it was 11v11 for the whole game.
Yeah. I mean, they had one dangerous little spell early doors, but I feel like we managed it really well defensively. I thought we created a fair bit more. Obviously, we spoke about it last week about who's going to be taking set pieces, and Ippolat put their goalkeeper under pressure really early doors.
Those corners, I don't know what he's been surely been training.
Yeah, he was. If the best thing you can do at Plough Lane is put the goalkeeper under pressure early doors, because then the fans get on the goalkeeper's back as well. Yeah, but he made the keeper he worked for two corners really, and then he fires another one in, and I think the other one was a header by Johnson and just fell into his arm sort of thing. But we said about the set pieces. The set pieces worked really well on Saturday. Not so much yesterday, I don't think, but we'll get onto that later on. But yeah, Mark, I think personally, 11v11, we were just shading it slightly. I thought Matty Stevens was horrible to play against. I thought Riley Taylor had a bit of a battle against him early doors, and Marcus Brown as well, just playing off Stevens. Made all three of their defenders. I mean, they were working, their asses off. Whereas Joe Lewis, Johnson, and Ogden were having a leisurely stroll in the first 20-25 minutes. I thought,
pretty much, yeah. It's all positive to me for that Lincoln game. The red card, Lincoln fans are saying it was controversial. I don't understand how he literally just slid, put his arms up, put his hands up, and the ball went unfortunately straight into his hand. Do you think it was a red card? Oh no, what am I talking about? That's for the penalty. The red card put his foot up, studs up, didn't he, into Matty Stevens' hands or something like that. Is that a red card? I mean, with the rules of football now, you can't put your legs up that high.
Yeah. If it was against us, I'd be gutted because if it was one of our players, I'd be a bit gutted, but I can see both sides of the story. It's one of them amber cards, I like to say. It's in between a yellow, in between a red. On one day, the referee can give a red. On another day, he can give a yellow, simple as. Personally, for me, it's just where his boot is. It's above his midriff. And for me, it's got to... For me, it's a red card, but I can see where people might think it's on the verge of an amber, maybe yellow, maybe red.
Exactly. And then the penalty came never in doubt by Stephen Souffé. He scored a good pen in the penalty shootout against Gillingham yesterday as well. It's crazy. It's his first goal since his new contract. We were talking about it last week. That was saying we would love to see Matty Stevens score a goal because his confidence looked low. But against Lincoln, I think we saw a different kind of version of Matty Stevens. He was kind of sometimes playing the bugle role. He was holding up the ball, passing it out wide, which is really positive.
Reece, we've got Reading away.
Have we actually?
Yes, we've got Reading away.
Are you taking the mickey?
No, we've got Reading away. Just to let you know, whilst we're on here.
I think my dodgy stick is behind, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got on my one. I've got Fulham versus Bristol City. That are we the second one to come out?
No, you're miles behind. Then there's about another 3.
I'm actually miles behind.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't actually know they were doing the Southern draw first as well. Norwich City I've got now versus whoever they're about to draw. Okay, this is our live reaction. Reading away. You're serious?
Yeah, Reading away. Yeah.
We literally. Oh my god. Fair enough.
So we'll be playing them twice in 3 weeks. Twice in 2 weeks.
To be honest, I don't think it's that bad of a draw, but it's 2 League One teams coming up against each other. What do you make of it? Not really what I wanted. It's really boring, to be honest.
It's a boring one, but we can't have them all good all the time. We've had some fantastic ties in the Carabao Cup, haven't we, recently? Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle.
I've got it on now. Reading versus Wimbledon. Jesus Christ. The amount of teams you could have played, Southampton, everyone, but it could have been a lot worse, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we've got a chance going through again. That's the main thing.
Yes. Both teams are going to be probably changed, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we can talk about Reading versus Wimbledon later, I guess, more in depth for the league. Okay, nice one. That's Bournemouth versus Brentford there, both Premier League clash. Okay, anyways, the penalty that we scored, Stevens never in doubt, first goal since his new contract and for the new season. I thought he was really good, to be honest. I think we were talking last week saying how many games till he gets dropped, but now that conversation kind of changes. He scores that goal. He keeps his spot. Do you think he keeps his... Actually, I won't ask you that because I'll ask you that later. How do you think Matty Stevens played? And that surely boosts his confidence as well.
Yeah, it's massively. It's just the same as last year when we got a penalty against Colchester early doors on our first home game, and Jake Reeves was pretty much a penalty taker after Tiddley the season before. And you gave Matty Stevens the ball straight away, and it's a good way to get your opening account and get going again. And I think he's got to look at his towards the end of last season, he wasn't hitting the back of the net as much as he wanted to. But he's got an early goal to this season. It's a new season. Let's hope he can kick on now because you can see what he's deadly in front of goal. When he gets that chance, he usually takes it. So I think as well, personally, it helps to having the man sent off as well for him. He just managed to be a bit more free in and around the box. But before it was 11v11, he ran his legs off and he was on the ball really well to get Brown and Hippolyte and Smith into the game, which we need.
100%. He also had that chance, I think, in the additional time in the first half as well, where it was pretty much through on goal, just a kind of acute angle, but their keeper did well. You said off camera that you didn't watch the second half, but I haven't really wrote too much about it, as not much happened except from our goal, really. But you've probably heard that in the second half, when it came round, we would probably dominate him from the front foot and everything like that. It was really, really positive to watch. There was so many chances where we were outside the box, having shots on goal, getting it out wide to Asimwe and Sasu. I thought Sasu did really well when he came on. Definitely not against Gillingham, though. But that's probably my only negative that I had from the Lincoln game, that we were not clinical in front of goal. In the second half, we should have been scoring probably 2 or 3 goals in that second half. Like, we got it out wide, got past our first man, and then the crosses into the box weren't great. What do you think about that? Is that kind of more worrying on that stage? Because we still had quality players on the pitch, but definitely should have scored a lot more. And especially because it's 11v10. That's what I thought anyway. But it's hard to be negative.
It is. The only thing is when it's 10 men, they're sort of after they're trying to sit in and just sit in and defend and defend and wait for a counter attack and wait for a chance to try and get a goal, which he nearly did. But Joe Lewis fantastic defending when it was pretty much 3v1 at one point. And they're the moments that could have changed the game. If Joe Lewis doesn't get a foot in there and prevent that, we could be brought up against it and only walking away with a point. But we've dug in, and I think over time the goals will come. I still think we're a bit light with the creativity and with goal scoring chances. We saw that again last night. But I think Hackford's going to be a player that was going to look really good. He looked really fresh last night. The goals will come. But it took Brown a while to get his account open. I think his first goal was against Colchester last season. Stevens is up and running now, which is good news. Boogle's still nowhere near fit, so it's not like he's going to be on the goal scoring sheet anytime soon. And it's just the goals from midfield I think we need to work on. I think Hippolyte and Smith are really going to have to probably punch in 8, 9, maybe 10 goals this season.
100%, I do agree. Last thing about the Lincoln game, the last positive we'll finish on that is Nathan Asimwe grabbed his first goal of the season. I thought in the second half he was so positive. He was down that right flank taking on players. He got past his defender a lot of times, to be honest. A really good finish, got himself in a really good position. I feel like he'll be one of our more important players this season. We'll get onto it in a minute. I don't think he should have played yesterday. But then who would you rather drop, Seddon or Asimwe? Seddon's probably less fit than Asimwe, but really glad he got his first goal. Probably could have had a hat-trick in the second half. There was sometimes he should have scored. What did you think of Asimwe in that game, and how important do you think he will be for this season? Because especially Josh Newville last season relied on him so much down that right-hand side, and now we've got a player with pretty much similar attributes.
Well, I think we said last week, didn't we, that we want to see Asimwe get on the goal scoring sheet because he hasn't scored many in his career so far. But getting one early doors, opening his account, that does wonders for a player in front of goal. And to do it in front of the South Stand at Plough Lane, that's going to give him a massive boost of confidence as well. I think he's going to be absolutely massive. Personally, I think defensively, he's far better than Josh Nerville. Far better. And I think he's probably a bit more unpredictable than Josh Nerville. I can't see. I think Simway's got a bit of a clean left foot on him as well from what I've seen so far. Whereas, Josh Nerville, how many times we see it last season? Probably once where he cut in and he scored against Tranmere on his left foot. Probably any time, really.
Yes.
So he's a bit more unpredictable. I think he's stronger. I don't know if he's as quick as Josh Nerville, but we're comparing two players here that we've both been blessed. We've been blessed with for the last 2 seasons. And I think Simway's going to be absolutely massive. He's going to be crucial for us defensively and going forward. It'll be interesting to see if when we do play teams that have got great wing backs and fullbacks and wingers, that if Asimwe changes sides, we saw him change last night, but that's a different reason which we'll probably get on to. But you look at it and you think, is Josh Nerville going to beat Asimwe all the time? No, we've already said that. We already said this when we played Walsall in the final. Didn't really see Josh Nerville was kind of missing. So Asimwe is a great addition. I think he's going to be massive, absolutely massive for us.
100%. Joe Lewis came off injured against Lincoln, which I've heard rumours that he was holding onto his shoulder. He wasn't involved in the squad yesterday, thank God, but the same with Jake Greaves. Marcus Brown wasn't involved. Really hope he isn't injured because he's the rock of the defence. He's the heart of it all. Yes, we have Harbottle who can come in and possibly do a job. Thought he was superb yesterday, to be fair. Did really well. Worrying, I guess, would you think? Well, it's 100% worrying. But
it is worrying. But the thing is, Joe Lewis, how many times has he played with injuries that we don't know about? I don't think he was 100% fit against Luton. He wasn't 100% fit because he had hardly any pre-season. I thought he was excellent against Luton. I thought he was excellent against Lincoln from what I saw. But maybe it's just a a bit of some. He maybe have got injured against Luton, and then against Lincoln, he's played with that injury sort of thing. And why risk making it worse? Get him off the pitch. We're winning. Get him off the pitch. Get him ready for Reading, because we know full well Joe Lewis is going to take no part in any of the Virtue Trophy or the Carabao Cup, really, unless we get a massive tie. I can't see him ever playing in any of them. He needs to be 100% fit every single Saturday in the League One. But yeah, you're right about Harbottle. Harbottle can come in and do a job. I just think that Joe Lewis is the only one that can really handle a big centre forward. He's the only one I think can.
That's the thing, isn't it? I think that if I had to pick one player to not get injured for the whole season, it would be Joe Lewis, in my opinion. Let's get on to Gillingham yesterday. So a 1-1 draw overall in the 90 minutes, and thankfully won the game on penalties, thanks to Joe McDonnell saving 2 penalties and Wimbledon scoring all 5 of theirs, which was really impressive. I can't remember the last time we had a proper penalty shootout, you might know, but it's always entertaining having a penalty shootout.
Ipswich, yeah.
There we go.
Moggs is absolute thunderbolt.
Love it. Starting lineup for Gillingham was, I believe, 7 or 8 changes to the side. To be honest, I'm quite surprised how much squad depth we had, because obviously the 3 academy graduates were involved yesterday, and we've had some players who haven't even been involved in the last 2 games who had their spot in the starting 11 yesterday. So it was McDonnell with Simway, Johnson, Orsi, Maycock, Bugle, Hackford, who I thought was brilliant. Same with McCoy, Splat, Harbottle, Sasu, and Ogden. Really impressed by McCoy Splat, in my opinion. Wasn't involved in any of the first games in League One. He's probably upset because I thought he played really well in pre-season. Out of that 11, who do you think played well, man of the match? And who impressed? Because I think, especially in the first half, he played well, and it will give JJ a selection headache, possibly going into Reading.
You thought first half were absolutely magnificent for saying it was pretty much the second string sort of thing. And players haven't really had a sniff so far this season. McCoy Splat, really like him. I liked him in pre-season. I'm just wondering if he picked up a bit of a knock because he weren't in the squad at Luton. He was just warming up. So I'm wondering if he picked up a knock late on in pre-season. Went off yesterday injured as well, so I don't know if that's a bit of a recurring one. I thought Bogle was okay. I thought he was still nowhere near match fitness. When you say match fitness, just probably hold on to the ball a little bit too long and stuff like that. But his work rate for the team's nothing, it's fantastic. Man of the match.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It is a difficult one.
I don't think there was any proper standouts, but it was just good to see. I do think
the back 3 had a good. I think Riley Arbottle for early doors. They had a chance 1v1, and Arbottle just did enough without giving a penalty away, without getting sent off. He just did enough. I'll give it Arbottle because he was playing with a knock as well for the last 10 minutes or so. We didn't really have anybody to come on there, and so I'll give it Harbottle, but. Yeah, first half, fantastic. Worrying signs, wing-back positions. Sasu was just all at sea over on that far side.
He was dreadful. I hate to say it was dreadful.
Yeah, and one thing I did notice, second half, swapped him over. I think JJ and the coach staff trying to talk Sasu through it because Sasu went out onto the right-hand side in front of the dugouts again, and Simway come out to the left-hand side, but yeah, it was just all at sea. The ball was going over his head. He was diving in to go and get the ball, and he couldn't get it. And he was making their right winger at one point, look like Maradona. And I'm just thinking, this lad's a second string League 2 player, Sasu. You should be better than this. Don't think it helps that Sasu goes from playing as a wing back to then being chucked one up front when he comes on.
100%.
I just think that they need to persevere with him and proper get him trained up into one position and stick with it, sort of thing.
I think I'm really surprised he hasn't gone out on loan, to be honest, because I looked at his stats on the weekend, and last season, like 30-ish appearances for us, majority of them off the bench, but he's had 0 goals, 0 assists. And the season before, around the same appearances and also 0 goals and 0 assists. The last goal he scored for us was Portsmouth in the Virtue Trophy. That was like a good 2-3 seasons ago. That was still when Ali Al Hamadi was still playing for us. So so that's mental. I can't believe he's in the squad. I mean, yeah, crazy. I mean, he gets it out wide. He tries to do everything right, but then it's just the finishing product. But that's my opinion.
I just think we really need to look out for another wing back, because if not, we're going to be struggling this season. Because if we have an injury to Simway or Seddon, we are
cooked.
Yeah, we're banging trouble, because if we're going to have to rely on Sassy to play left wing back or right wing back for a stint of games, we're going to be in trouble, because you won't want somebody like Josh Nerful or Gordon who's at Port Vale running at Sassy. You'll be having kittens all game. But yeah, second half we set back massively. My main concern was yesterday was how we never really had a holding midfielder. All 3 midfielders wanted to get further forward.
It seemed like Maycock was playing quite a deep role, and it's like he's not that type of player. No. That's the thing.
The thing that got me is there's about 10-15 minutes left, and we're struggling to get hold of the ball. And Maycock plays wants a give and go. So he drops it in. I think he dropped it into Simway at right wing back, and he has bombed on. And I'm thinking, come on, 10-15 minutes left. I want Maycock to get the ball and control the game and just settle it down. And that's where we are missing second string, probably missing Sam Hutchinson still out injured, still trying to get back to match fitness. He's the sort of player that comes on in them games and just settles it down. Obviously, Jake Reeves is going to be nowhere near Carabao Cup and Virtue Trophy games either.
No,
so, if Sam Hutchinson could have had half hour yesterday, that would have been the half hour we needed him really just to come in and just settle the game down, because we struggle massively later on when they put the big lad on. We struggle all the time when we play against the big lad.
I thought the goal we conceded was really poor. I mean, it was straight from a corner, not marked up at all, and we've been really, really good at that in the first 2 League One games. We've been proper on it from corners. Like Luton, some of their strikers and centre halves were absolutely huge and massive. Like that, they were towering over everyone in that box. Obviously, there's changes, like Joe Lewis was usually picking up the big man in the box, but still with Harbottle, he's definitely capable of it. And McDonald's positioning as well wasn't great. That's what I've been hearing. He kind of just star jumped and just stood there and let it in. Poor, to be honest, because we've been really good from corners recently.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was as soon as that big lad came on, it gives a whole different perspective for a whole defence, because Harbottle, Johnson and Ogundare were coping well with a player that wanted it into his feet and in behind. And then they bring on the big lad, I think his name was Andrews. And that just changes the whole game, because they're lumping it up to him. And if we don't win the first ball and we don't win the second, that's when they were at us. So every time the ball came forward, and even if Andrews wasn't winning it and the ball was dropping, that's when they were picking up the second balls a lot. And that's where we struggled there. But on the goal,
brilliant.
I thought Josh Kelly was their goal. I thought Josh Kelly was brilliant when he came on. Absolutely brilliant when he came on. I thought he tried getting the ball down, he tried holding it up, he tried carrying it out. I thought he played really well, but you can't do what he tried 3 times to take a foul on a player. 3 times he did it just outside their box, just inside our half, and then just before our box. And in the end, gives a cheap corner away. And from that cheap corner, they've gone and scored. And like you say, the big lads came on, and defenders are thinking, right, we might need to double up on this lad. And then all of a sudden, there's a free header there. So it's a moment, it's a lapse in concentration from us. But I don't see that happening on a Saturday when you've got Joe Lewis, Ryan Johnson, Ogundare, or /Harbottle are there, and probably Nathan Bishop there. It's just one of them. It's going to happen again when you've got a team, and I think we made about 4 or 5 changes at that point as well. So it's hard to weigh it up. The goal was coming. It's coming. We've still managed to get through in the end.
Exactly. Before we go on to the penalty shootout, let's talk about our goal that we scored, because I thought it was really impressive. Pretty much what it was a throw in deep in our half. They threw it in. Bugle won the ball brilliantly. Played up to Orsi, which is a great ball, and then over the top, and Hackford put it in. I mean, that is a typical, just amazing Wimbledon goal. Just Bugle being that striker, or kind of being that 10, going back, defending, winning the ball, bringing it up to Orsi, who I don't think he actually played that well, to be honest with you, but I'm glad that he's got his first goal contribution. And then Hackford, with his pace that we've seen in the first 2 League One games, was brilliant and a really good finish. To be fair, we'll get onto it in a bit. I think we might see maybe a striker change against Reading. Maybe Hackford could come in after getting that goal. What do you think about that goal? Because I thought it was really, really impressive.
That's it come from Bugle being Bugle, ratting, and he plays a nice ball up top. And like you say, we've been on about we've needed that striker that can just play off the last man's shoulder and get in behind and score. And we thought it was Josh Kelly who was going to be that. You look at it now, and would Josh Kelly have done what Hackford did yesterday? I don't think he would.
Same with kind of Matty Stevens as well. I don't think Matty Stevens scores that type of goal.
I just think Hackford's too quick. He's just too quick for teams, and really, really tardy finish. And I'm also happy for him to get his account and then get it going, because he's had a lot of stop starts in his career. He's been out on loan. He hasn't really got going. So he's got a goal. He's got a goal in him now, and hopefully that kicks him on. And that it's healthy competition. To have strikers scoring, it's a great option for Johnny Jackson and the rest of the coaching staff, because I saw that in his celebration, he looked over and he pointed at Matty Stevens, and Matty Stevens was, clapping. He was really happy for him, and that's the strikers' little squadron, and the strikers' corner, and they've all got to get on, and they've all got to push each other, because goals win your games at the end of the day.
Exactly. Do you still think we need another striker? I mean, I think everyone still does. There was rumours of Ollie Palmer. He was actually at the game against Lincoln on Saturday. And then maybe Wimbledon's fans' opinions have changed because he scored 2 goals in a minute for Wrexham against Hull. Yeah. But I don't think he suits our style of play in any way, because I feel like we're looking to get in behind quite a lot in the first 2 League One games. I mean, last season it was kind of getting it out wide, either taking your man on or whipping it into the box and trying to head it into the goal. And I feel like we have players who can do that, but I don't know. What do you think?
I personally think he's a great option to have. We've just said about Andrews. He came on and he was giving all of our defenders worry. It wasn't it was him that changed the game. It wasn't anything that Wimbledon did or anything that Gillingham really did. They brought a big lad on and it changed the game. And I think we need a big lad. I think it's a Wimbledon way of always having a big lad. We had Tom Elliott, we had Akinfenwa, we've had Danny Cadwell. He's a big lad. He can hold the ball up and he fights for everything.
Yeah.
Piggott, not so much. He was a big lad, but he never used to want to head the ball, sort of thing. But
yeah,
I think as an option, like I said last week, we've got Orsi and Stevens that do the same job. We've got Hackford and Kelly that do the same job. I just think we need a striker that can just do something a little bit different. And I saw Ollie Palmer's goals last night, and they're a typical Ollie Palmer goal, and it's something
2-headed goals as well.
I don't want to hear a Wimbledon fan turn around and say, "Oh, they don't want Ollie Palmer." I think Ollie Palmer is a great addition to the team. There's people thinking it's bad blood for Ollie Palmer, but personally, I know what the ins and outs of what happened with Ollie Palmer. Wimbledon basically got told in December that Ollie Palmer was going, and Wimbledon tried stalling it to try and get another striker in, and ended up with Sam Cosgrove because they couldn't be proactive. And everybody thinks, it's Ollie Palmer's fault. If Ollie Palmer at his age is going to get paid another $2.5 more a week, why should anybody turn around and say? Why should anybody turn a nose up at that? It's not like he's turned around and gone to the scum, has he, for an extra £500 a week. He's gone £2,500, and he's gone and won 2 leagues with them. So I can't see any reason why any Wimbledon fan will be in their right mind to moan and say we don't want him back. I think he'll be a great addition. I think he's somebody different. He can hold the ball up. He has got quick feet for a big lad. He can head a ball. And I think it's just an option to have when you're back against the wall, and he'll win a foul for you as well. So for me, an option I think is a great option to have. I think get him in. If it's there, it's on a plate, and we can afford his wages. just get it done, get it over the line,
and
then maybe Josh Kelly could go out on loan. I don't want him to. I don't want to see him go out on loan. But the thing is, with our strike force, they are injury prone. Boogle's injury prone. Stevens will pick up an injury this season. There's no doubt about that, and there's no doubt Josh Kelly will pick up an injury. So another addition up front would be fantastic, and he's somebody that I'd really like back in a Wimbledon shirt.
It just came up to my head. I haven't heard the word Osman Foyo in about a month now. I mean, I understand the betting allegations, but I would love to see what's actually kind of going on with that. It's probably not our time and place to really talk about it in depth, but I thought he impressed in pre-season. Like, he scored a couple good goals against Enfield, but that was kind of the level he was playing at before he joined us. Be interesting to kind of see what happens with him.
It is interesting because Jamie Jealous at Warsaw's had the same sort of betting breaches against him.
Yeah.
And he's playing week in, week out at the moment for him. So it is
he's still playing for Walsall at the moment?
Yeah, he's still playing for Walsall now. So I presume that Wimbledon have kind of trying to deal with that behind closed doors. Maybe he'll go out on loan this season. Maybe he could go to a conference side, League Two side, and get a run of games and something into his legs if he can. But we don't know. We don't know what these betting breaches can turn up and do. Paquetá in the Premier League's coming back this season.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what's going on there, but he's somebody that isn't really in the plans at the moment by the look of it.
Exactly. Final thing about Gillingham, obviously, went to a penalty shootout. I'm really happy for Joe McDonnell because this is the type of games he's going to be playing in. Carabao Cup, possibly would play in that Reading game. I'm sure Reading will have their second string keeper in it as well. But yeah, really impressed. I mean, a lot of Wimbledon fans were very negative after the Gillingham goal went in, but he definitely redeemed himself. And for a smaller average keeper, he got down really well. And like the saves that he made, the balls were going right in the corner as well. So hats off to him. And also the penalties, 5 of them were scored. And that's really good to see as well. I mean, I feel like every single time we have a penalty, we're confident. Matty Stevens' penalty was good. Smith, Hippolyte. And it's good that the players are confident enough to take them.
You say Smith, but he had to have a second chance.
You know what? When you said it, because we have a group chat together, you listed all of the things, and I said to my dad before. Scott said Smith is going to miss in the shootout, and then he missed, and then obviously had to retake it. So
yeah.
Pretty good prediction. To be honest,
I classed myself as half right there. But I was expecting Oggs to take one. I think Oggs
he took one against Ipswich, didn't he? With the winning one.
I think he would have been the 5th because we only had 4, didn't we? We had Stevens, Kelly,
yes,
Smith. So I think the 5th one might have been Oggs, to be fair.
Love it. Joe McDonnell, happy about him?
Yeah, I'm happy. I like Joe when he was there first time. I think he's a great second string. He knows Bezo, he knows the club. And most of all, like I said on the first time we did a little bit of a preview for Luton, that having goalkeepers, having Bishop on a 3-year and having Joe McDonnell on a 2-year, for the next 2 years, we have got our goalkeepers. We have got Bezo still. And that is going to work wonders for Bishop and wonders for McDonnell again. McDonnell he's at an age where he's going to be able to push Bishop to his very best, and we've already seen Nathan Bishop be very good so far this season. So, fingers crossed, Joe McDonnell can keep on pushing him and show him what Joe McDonnell can do. It was nice to see at the end of the game that Bishop came straight over and gave McDonnell a hug. I'm happy. I'm happy what we've got. In the goalkeeping.
Exactly.
In the goalkeeping regiment at the moment, really happy.
100%. I've been really impressed with both of them. Bishop has been great. He definitely should have had 2 clean sheets out of 2 games in League One. But yeah, not a negative to say about the goalkeepers, to be fair. Really happy with McDonnell playing in those cup games. Maybe if Bishop does get injured, I'll be worried about him playing in League One, but that's not a conversation to have now. Anyways, the final game we'll talk about today is the upcoming League One game against Reading. Huge game, really excited for it. Really local for me, not for you, Scott, but it's still going to be a good one. Wimbledon have just sold out the second allocation, so hopefully we get more tickets. That will be positive. I think we're around over 2,000 tickets sold. So that's going to be another great away day, another great atmosphere. And it's one of the top ones on the bucket list for every fan in League One. You excited for Scott Redding? You're staying at ours. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah. It's another new ground for me, another new tick. Obviously, I'm trying to get through them all. So
yeah. How many have you got left in League One? Do you know?
I should do them all this season.
Nice.
Plymouth,
put you on the spot there.
Plymouth, Barnsley, and Huddersfield.
Okay, that's a good one. I think
in League One, yeah. So, and Exeter. Probably won't do Exeter. Actually, Exeter was going to be the only one I won't do because it's a Tuesday night.
Exeter's a Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah.
Cool. Excited about Reading? Be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Be a good one. Good to take a fair few thousand there. You know, a couple of thousand. Maybe they might even give us a little bit more. But you know, it's nice to see us selling out away days, selling out the allocation, and giving the fans the pick up they need, because the last time we were in League One, we weren't taking many and we weren't having the best of times. Bolton away, I think we took only about 350 and we lost 4-0.
What a memory! What a memory that was.
It's, you know, but it's nice to know that we're going to take. I've said many times before, we've got this new breed of Wimbledon fans coming through. So yeah, it's nice to see, and you know, it's a new tick for many. A lot of these grounds this season are going to be new ticks, you know. So yeah, it's nice to see, get us beyond the boys, get a good atmosphere going, and you know, let's go and try and get a point, maybe 3.
Exactly. I mean, you look at Reading's form coming into it. They lost 2-0 to Lincoln in the first game of the season. We beat Lincoln 2-0, but obviously it's hard to say because they were with 10 men for 3/4 of the game. They also lost to Huddersfield at home in the second league game of the season, which was obviously expected because Huddersfield are tipped to probably do automatic promotion. I do think we can get something out of Reading. I'm not sure about a win, but I don't think they have the best players at the moment. They've got a couple that we'll get onto in a bit. But how do you think we kind of face up against them? I mean, everything's been positive so far for us. We've should have got a draw at Luton, had a positive win against Lincoln. The players look up for it, the fans look up for it, and I think we're in a better kind of state of mind against Reading. But Reading have had a difficult start to the season, and they will 100% want to get 3 points on Saturday to kind of give confidence back to their fans as they're looking to have a better season than last, as there was a pretty disappointing one for them.
Well, just to begin with, they've gone and lost 2-0 to Lincoln. And I don't think Lincoln were nowhere near as good as us in the first 20-25 minutes when they had their 11 men. You know, I can't really see us being too outmatched by them. I think, you know, I've looked at their squad. I don't think they've got many players that jump out of the screen. They got Wing, who's a bit of a old statesman now, good player. But yeah, I'm looking at their squad. I don't really see anything over threatening right now.
A lot of the players that they've signed have kind of been championship players who have failed, and then they're trying to do it in League One. Like Paddy Lane, who was at Portsmouth, only played 13 games last season for Portsmouth, 1 goal, and then obviously was the second or third choice striker and stuff like that. Charlie Savage is probably the more creative one in midfield, kind of played for Forest Green, has now got a stint in League One. He could probably have one that causes problems. I did watch their highlights against Huddersfield. They had quite a few chances to score. But then the Huddersfield keeper did well. I mean, Goodman, their defence and everything like that. And then Huddersfield went on to score a couple goals. So I don't think I'm too worried for Saturday. We could easily go get pumped 4-0, but I don't think that will happen.
Yeah, the interesting thing of what I've seen with them as well is that they play 4 at the back. And I think it'll be the first time this season we've played against a team with 4 at the back.
That's true.
It'll be an interesting watch, because obviously Luton played 5 at the back, Lincoln played 5 at the back, obviously ended up playing 4 at the back. But it'll be interesting to see how we're matched up, sort of thing. They've got a couple of young lads come through. It'll be interesting to see what they're like. But you know, we've got players like Marcus Brown that have been in League One and been creative and have been promoted out of that league. So that's good news to hear for us, sort of thing. We've got Jake Reeves, who's an old statesman that knows what to do. It'll be interesting to see how him and Lewis Wing match up. Obviously, both of them are going to try and control the game. But I think we've got a very robust and very determined Wimbledon side again, and we don't want goals going past us. And what I like so much about us is even though we've lost a couple of big characters in the squad, like Nerfel, like Tilly, the ones that have come back together, like Smith's come back and he's staying with us now for 2 years. They've gelled together and they've got that. We'll run our legs into the ground for each other, and it's so nice to see. And I think away from home, teams are going to think, oh, Wimbledon are coming to our place. It's just 3 easy points. If we're not going to give 3 easy points away at all this season, I think we're going to fight for absolutely everything. And I think Reading, Reading think they're going to get the first points on the board this season, I think their fans they're a little bit beside themselves, because I think we're going to go rock up, take a point, or maybe even 3.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited for it, to be honest. I could see us winning, to be honest. If you had to pick an ideal starting 11, because there was a one change of Brown coming in, Hackford will obviously, I think Johnny Jackson wants Antoine Hackford to kind of play in the 10. That was in his interview that we got that information from. So that's interesting as well, because he was the last man for his goal that he scored. Do we stick with the same 11 that played against Lincoln, or do we shift it up? I really hope we don't go there and sit back in the first 10, 15 minutes. I kind of want us to play how we did against Lincoln, be tight at the back, but also expressing ourselves in the opening stages, because that's how we got our red cards. We were pressing loads and everything like that, and we got it into midfield and then caused them a problem and then got a man sent off.
Yeah, I mean, do we know how fit Marcus Brown is? It's a question. Do we know how fit Joe Lewis is? In an ideal world, we'd like...
Yeah, if it was an ideal world, because Johnny Jackson didn't do an interview before the Gillingham game, so we literally have no clue who is injured and who isn't.
I'd like to see us with the same lineup again. Again, like we had against Lincoln. I know you said about the being on the front foot and everything. It's easier for us to be on the front foot first home game of the season and be at it. They're coming back off a win. They just think they're going to turn up and get something out of us. But they're going to be up. They're going to be up for it. Redden are. I think they're going to want to try and control the game. I think Lewis Wing's going to try and control the game. I did notice that he went off injured last week, though. I don't know if he played any part yesterday.
They actually beat Portsmouth yesterday as well, which I'm shocked about.
Yeah, they did. Both teams were changed quite a bit. Yeah, no wing yesterday, not even on the bench. So that's interesting, because he did go off early doors against Huddersfield. So we're on about Lewis Wing and Jake Reeves having a bit of a old statesman's battle. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't really notice that earlier on. So if they can't control the game and we can get onto it early, if Smith and Hippolyte can buzz about, get that ball back and control the game. I must admit, I thought we tried to control it a little bit at Luton, but I think Luton's press was just too good for us. And I just think that Lincoln's press was pretty much fair to non-existent the first 20 minutes, so it allowed us to control the game. So if teams press on up to it, we can control the game nice and easy with the back three. You can all play football, and then you can get Jake Reeves, Hippolyte, and we will create chances on Saturday. That's no doubt about that. And I think we will come away with win. And I think we'll probably start with the same 11 if all fit.
100%. I agree. I mean, that's been a very good podcast. We talked about a lot of things, score predictions that we'll talk about. And then, I mean, we talked about it last week, how many kind of points that we think we're going to get in August. And I think we're on kind of the right trajectory at the moment. I can't remember. Did we both say we think we would have beat Lincoln? I can't even really remember.
I think I said we might have it was either a draw or a win for me. I said I didn't see Lincoln coming to win.
No.
But no, I think I said 7 points by the end of August. So we're getting there.
There you go. I think it'll be pretty positive. We've got Cardiff on a Tuesday night in 6 days. Cardiff is sold out as well, which is expected, but that'll be a good atmosphere. Barnsley, Bradford. It's all exciting times. Right, let's end off the podcast by doing a score prediction. I haven't even really thought about it, to be fair. I'd happily take a draw to get us up 4 points in the league table. I think we can win. I mean, I look at Reading's squad and I don't really see that much that can really threaten us. I think they've got a lot of players who underperformed last season and they're trying to perform now. I think they've got a lot of unproven players, in my opinion, especially their wingers. They've got a lot of young talent that can easily threaten us on the wing. It might be a tough game for Seddon, even though I think he's been pretty good. He's been pretty match fit throughout the whole of pre-season and the start of this season. I might go with a cheeky 1-0 win to Wimbledon. I might be confident. We're obviously going to be tight at the back. I see us being that every single game in this league, as we were last season. So that's expected. And yeah, we'd love to see a Simway score a goal, Matty Stevens, but we'll see. I'm going to go 1-0 Wimbledon, but I'll happily take a draw. Scott?
Yeah, 1-0 Wimbledon. Miles Plough free kick in about the 70th minute.
On a free kick. Interesting.
Yeah, I fancy Plough to start getting on these set pieces now. I think, I don't know if John Jackson's heard our little podcast about getting players on set pieces now other than Jake Reeves, and I think Plough's got an absolute wonder of a left foot.
Johnny Jackson's watching, he is.
Yeah, so hopefully, Miles Plough, you can see, we know how well he can strike a ball. So that's see, Miles Plough 1-0 I'm going for.
There you go. Amazing. Well, we will end it off there. 45 minutes in the bag. That is brilliant. I want to watch the Super Cup Tottenham game against PSG. That'll be a good one. Yeah. Amazing. Well, Scott, thank you for joining us for this week's podcast. And we're going to have a great day at Reading. See everyone there. And yeah, let's hope Wimbledon can get a good win. We will be back for another podcast at some time next week. So yeah, Scott, thank you for joining us. And yeah, come on, you dons.